What's going on, YouTube? Claic Yuzolt back again with another 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross video. And I've been asked this a lot. I got myself together, got all the units I wanted to. I'm giving you guys my top 5 list of SSR units I'm looking forward to coming to Global Grand Cross and why I'm looking forward to them. So let's get into it. Alright guys, so I am super pumped after putting this list together. I am so excited to see these units come to Global, and I've put the list up. I can't wait to see how these interactions go and how Global maybe changes and shifts from the JP meta. But these are the top 5 units that I think coming out in like this order, should be around this order. Somewhere in the near future, I guess. I'm obviously guessing with the way Global's going. But I think Gother may be a little bit behind the next one we're going to talk about. But I wanted to put Gother here in first, in and out. Best unit in the game. Obviously, everybody's going to want him. Everybody knows about him. So I wanted to include him in the list. But I'm not going to go too ham on him because everybody already knows you got to go for Gother. So Gother is really great for 2 big reasons. One, his passive. If you do not hit him, similar to the newest coin shop bond we just got, he's going to increase everybody's attack by 10%, stacking up to 50%. So you got to be hitting him or everybody's getting stronger on the team and hitting you harder with their attack up, whereas Bond would take down your HP related stuff. His S1 can disable attacks. It's not really what you use him for too much, but it can be something great. AoE, disable your attacks. The big selling point of this Gother is his S2. It has the ability to rank up cards. Not only single unit cards, but also AoE, all the cards in your hand. This also works in raid, applying to everyone. So increase skill ranks of all allies. Just put all those skill rank cards in your hand up by 1. 1 star, 2 star, 2 star, 3 star. And then if 2 Gothers use it in a raid, 2 star, 3 star, go all the way up immediately. And it's not over. You would think that would be the gold card. Nope, the gold card is increase all those skill ranks and your basic stacks by 20% for 3 turns to all allies. Absolutely nutty. This makes a lot of strategies that much easier. We're going to talk about a strategy in a minute called Broom. It's going to be a PvP matchup, and it's going to be very intimidating, and everybody's going to want to have this guy when it comes to raids, PvE content, PvP content. This guy stays true the entire time. Looking at his ultimate, inflicts damage and then gets rid of ult gauge. So as long as you it can deplete 3 ult gauge, or it can go up to 5 ult gauge if you have the combined attack with it. So that means you pair up a king with it, which you can see over here who his combined attack people are. Gother is obviously going to change the game when he comes out. Everybody's looking forward to him, and he's got to be coming out soon, right? Next up on my list is somebody that I'm somewhat scared of coming into the meta, but a lot of people are looking forward to him. That is Red Hellbrim. You may even think Red Hellbrim is going to be that great, but he is going to make a strategy called Broom, come to PvP, and rain terror, and it's going to be paired with that Gother we just talked about. Looking at his passive, increase basic stats by 5% per surviving ally, so he just kind of boosts himself up as long as everybody's alive. He's getting more stats together, making him, more tanky, do a little bit more damage, all that good stuff. His S1 gets rid of ult gauge, so it does some pretty good damage, and once you rank it up to rank 2, but with the help of Gother, it's going to be pretty simple. And then also gets rid of an ult gauge. If you get it to rank 3, it gets rid of 3 ult gauges to 1 enemy. So it is single target, but it is it's a way to keep that ult gauge off of people and be annoying. The second skill that we have here on our Hellbrim is essentially the same as King's. The blue story king you guys are dealing with in PvP, it's the Petrify move. But think about it for a minute. If you have blue king, you have red Hellbrim, and you have Gother, and you rank up all the cards, that's Petrify for days. And that's essentially what we're going to end up getting with Broom. Not only is your ultimate gauge going to constantly be being put down, but you're always going to be CC'd, and it becomes a battle back and forth of who has the most CC and who can get the better advantage. It's going to be kind of crazy. I'm looking forward to it. I definitely want to play with it because I never have before, but it also sounds very annoying. Looking at his ultimate, cancels buffs and stats on one enemy, inflicts 350% damage, up to 525 if you level it all the way up. Not the most oppressive ultimate in the world. Getting rid of your buffs and stats, that's kind of cool. The buffs, definitely, you do want to get rid of those buffs, but it's not something he's really known for. I think mostly he's known for being annoying by making your ults go away, and then also being able to petrify a lot, paired with the other Fairy King, and just going nuts. So that's why Hellbrim is going to be something, and that's when Broom is going to start to turn around. And I think this guy is the next person we'll see out of all these people on the list. And then I think it's going to be Coin Shop Gother, and then we're going to see who's up next on the list. Coming up next on the list is everybody's sun god himself, Holy Knight Escanor. There are 2 Escanors. It's going to be red Escanor, green Escanor. I think the red one personally is my favorite. The green Escanor is no doubt extremely powerful, rivaling the red Escanor in a lot of ways. But I'm gonna go with the red Scanor. Okay, red Escanor for me as being my favorite. First off, let's look at his passive. Increases the HP of related stats of the hero by 50%. HP related stats, excuse me, by 50% for 3 turns at the start of battle. So at the very beginning, he already has 50% buffs to all his HP related stats. That'll go away after 3 turns, so he does slowly decline, maybe like the sun's going down. I think that passive kind of works with him in a way. His S1 is bonkers, and it's one of the reasons why Red Arthur is gonna slowly, he's already really relevant, but Red Arthur is gonna slowly become more and more relevant. Let's read it. Inflicts amplified damage equal to 180% of attack on one enemy, up to 450% attack to one enemy on a tier 3. Amplify. Damage dealt plus 30% per active buff on self. Guess what Arthur can do? Put a ton of buffs on you. So you pair Escanor with that Arthur, buff yourself up, and you're just going to be raining down insane damage off of this S1. It's absolutely bonkers what he can do in both PvP and PvE. Escanor is one of the top. First off, he's a fan favorite, right? Everybody wants to get Escanor, but they did not disappoint with giving this guy a ton of damage. And that's pretty much what he's going to do. He is just a damage stick, and can do that job pretty well. His S2 inflicts damage equal to 250% of attack on all enemies and depletes ult gauge. So if you get it up to a rank 2, rank 3, he is going to be able to get rid of that ult gauge and maybe stall somebody's ult from happening, or maybe even a boss maybe you're fighting, you need him to do that. But this isn't really going to be a powerhouse, right? This is more for its utility, and then even then it's kind of, it's okay. It's okay utility because you got to have a rank 2 to even deplete the ult gauge. So not as good as a lot of other ult deniers, but still an option for your Escanor. Moving down to his ultimate, inflicts damage equal to 960, and that's a base ultimate as long as you haven't paired with a Merlin here, all the way up to a 1440% damage modifier there on that attack. Absolutely burns people alive with that sun, guys. He is a monster, and specifically because of this amplify damage ability, and he gets really tanky in the beginning, so he's hard to deal with. I just can't wait to use him. I've seen him before. I've seen him in battle. He's going to be great. And I do believe he should be the 3rd one out of this list that comes out. Again, I'm kind of jumping all over the place. And obviously, Global has been changing things up. So we don't know when the heck we're going to get Escanor. I keep getting that question asked. I don't know. But it should be maybe in a month and a half. I'm just guessing because, again, it's Global. Who knows when things are going to come out. Next up on the list, it's going to be kind of paired with my 5th pick. But I want to go over her first. It's Lilia. And a lot of you guys are probably being like, who is Lilia? I don't remember her. That's because she's a Grand Cross exclusive character that they made for the game itself. She's amazing. She's a very unique unit, and she's going to be a monster when it comes time for PvP. She kind of brings a new meta with her, and that's because of her passive. Increase all allies' pierce rate by 50% of the value of the hero's pierce rate. So we've talked about pierce rate before with our ultimate farming team that I put out. A very powerful ability here that helps you do more damage. But what Shia does is you build her with a ton of pierce rate, a ton of attack. She spreads that pierce rate on everybody, and then it allows them to take advantage of the pierce keyword to be doing even more damage. So you are limited to how many passive increases you can get on equipment and through the actual unit, but what she does is she amplifies that even more. So when you do that pierce keyword that's on abilities that does 3 times the pierce rate, it's going to be even higher. So the multiplier added to that's going to go beyond even what you can even think about doing right now in the game. But let's look at her other abilities because she does bring even more than just a passive in her kit. So the first one's going to be one of those ultimate depleters, one of those ultimate deniers. She's going to need rank 2 or 3 to be able to get rid of that. And she can do a little bit of damage. Nothing, you're going to even, it's like a little bit of chip damage, but it is going to be AoE. So she's an AoE ultimate denier if you need one. The other move is going to be like Blue King, Story King that you guys are using in the game right now. Recover HP based on attacks. You're going to be able to build up her attack and again pierce rate as high as you can so she can heal, and then her S2 or her rank 2 and rank 3 version of this ability will cleanse everybody of their debuffs, which is very important in PvP, as you're probably already learning right now. So a very, very good skill. She's bringing the pierce damage up for everybody, spreading that out. She has a ultimate depleter, and then she also can remove the debuffs and heal, which is fantastic. And then her ultimate is a game changer as well. She does AoE damage. She decreases all skill ranks. So, Gother's popping up those skill ranks. Well, she's going to be like kind of calming that down. Gother, calm down. And then she's going to get rid of ultimate gauge depending on how much of the skill rank decreases. So this is a way to maybe to deny an opponent a turn, right? It takes their turns and their ultimate gauges and all their skill ranks up, and it turns it back, giving you maybe one more turn to make sure you're ahead of the fight when it comes to getting to ultimates. And she's just fantastic at a lot of things because she can also bring you guys back to life and all kinds of cool stuff like that with the healing. So she is fantastic. Love her to death. And when you pair her with the final unit that I'm looking forward to, it's going to get kind of crazy up in here. And last but not least, on my top 5 SSR units I'm looking forward to in Grand Cross, coming in the recent, there are more out there, but you know, the coming in the more recent times, is going to be Demon Blue Mele Otis. My man Mele Otis is cool as heck anyway. Adding the demon part to him, but puts him further beyond for me. Looking at his passive, and he's going to pair well again with the unit we just talked about. When the hero has 4 or less ultimate gauge, the hero's attack skills cannot be disabled. So you can't turn off his attacks until he has his ultimate gauge up, which is great. So all those attack disablers, everything like that normally would hold an attacker down in PvP, give you some time to breathe. Mele Otis says, screw that, I'm coming in and I'm doing my damage. Another great thing about Mele Otis, before we get into what his actual skills does, is he's mostly AoE based. And when it comes to PvP, when you're spreading out the damage, as long as you can do good AoE damage, it really puts pressure on the opponent to be able to heal, to manage that, to decide who they're going to be trying to get the ult gauge on. Because in my opinion, a lot of this PvP is a race to the ultimates. A lot of these skills do a lot of damage, but if you get to an ultimate first, it really swings the tide of battle. And he kind of just spreads down the law with all his AoE. His first skill is inflicts pierce damage equal to 100% of attack on all enemies. So if you look at these modifiers, you're kind of like, yo, Claic, what do you mean he's really good? But remember, pierce, 3 times pierce rate increased. So you get that pierce rate 3 times, it's AoE, and then you got your girl Lilia buffing up his pierce rate through hers. My God, is this man? I've seen it in battle, guys. It's absolutely insane how much he can torch AoE teams down instantly. It's disgusting. You guys are going to love to be messing around with him. His next ability is also AoE, but it works a little bit different. Inflicts corrosion damage equal to, and it goes up to 20% of the max HP on all enemies for 3 turns. So what happens is he puts this debuff on them, and at the end of each turn, when they pass the turn back to you, they're going to take some tick damage, and it's going to be up to 20% of max HP, and it lasts for 3 turns. So if they don't have a debuffer, or excuse me, a cleanser to get all those debuffs off, you're doing that AoE damage, so boom, and then at the end of their turn, boop, boom, boop. They're like slowly just, they're going down. The heart rate monitor is dying off, and this guy is pushing and pushing and pushing, and it's really hard to deal with. It's like kind of like a Zerg rush. It's tough to get through him. I've watched videos, I've seen it in action. It's kind of crazy, and it doesn't end there. Looking at his ultimate, it's going to be his one single target move. It doesn't have the highest multipliers, as you can see, but it does have weak point, which does 3 times damage against debuffed enemies, and he provides the debuff with his corrosion. This guy literally can get up to his ultimate and just one-shot somebody if he's doing 3 times damage to those debuffed enemies. Guys, this man is going to be, like, you know how excited I am for Bond, because Bond's my favorite character, and I know he's whipping out that damage, and he's taking away their attack and defense. This guy's going to melt teams, melt them. So it's going to be very, very fun to be messing with him. But those are the ones I'm looking forward to the most when it comes to 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross coming in the future. What are you guys looking? Let me know in the comments below if I missed any characters, what you're looking forward to the most. When these characters come out, I'm going to do those whole showcase thing where I do the build guide, show where they can be used in PvP or PvE, where they're best used at. But these are the ones I'm looking forward to coming out really soon. So if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below. Again, what do you like? What are you looking forward to? Which characters did I mention that maybe I should keep my eye out for? Subscribe for future content. Catch me on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Claic Yuzolt, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.